Some incidents or stories are intentionally mistold or obscured. There is often a deeper, frightening truth behind it. Welcome to Alien Area. Overlords. Teotihuacan, Mexico City of the Gods has long been thought by some to be the handiwork of aliens. This is because of its sprawling size, impressive pyramids, and, just like Giza, astronomical alignments. Teotihuacan also unveiled stores of liquid mercury and strange golden orbs. And there's the fact that we do not know what happened to the city. People disappeared from what was once the sixth largest city in the world, in around 550 AD. Addressing some of these mysteries, scientists believe that the city was built over many centuries by the Maya, Zapotec, and other civilizations, with much archaeological evidence to support this. The city was advanced, there's no denying that, with evidence of tools, murals, and transportation suggesting Teotihuacan was very much ahead of the time. As for its collapse, the city is thought to have begun to decline in the 6th century, with signs of internal unrest suggesting a rebellion in the city. Droughts and climate change in the mid-550s seem to have hastened this decline. The remains of many young people support the idea that climate change-induced famine may have been the main cause of the collapse of the city. Pyramids exist all around the globe and have an astronomical alignment with a specific star system. At the time it was created there were no telescopes. Who helped the ancient civilizations plan and construct the buildings? There were no helicopters to accurately place the heavy objects on the top of the pyramids. Was there actually help from extraterrestrial beings in the past? At the pyramids you can actually find images of creatures in spacesuits, and strangely shaped orbs and objects can also be found there. Likewise, the artistic processing of gold, which had not yet been developed at that time. Were aliens the guides and rulers of this time? There are records of gods called Anunnaki. Why did the overlords help the people, and what was the return? But the biggest mystery is that all these civilizations disappeared without a trace at their highest stage of development. Were our ancestors slaves and taken away after work? My story tells of the Maya in what was then the 6th largest city on Earth. The time is the 5th century after the birth of Christ. It is the time when there was a great uprising in Teotihuacan, Mexico. Why and against whom was this rebellion?
Visit my fan shop alienaria.myspreadshop.com and view my designs. I have men's, women's, children's and baby fashion. I also have accessories such as hats, mugs, water bottles and bags. Take a look, you are very welcome. Alien Area, the slightly different shop.
Zuma wakes up early and his gods in the flying houses need his help in the mines. His gods have come again and again for generations, bringing progress and prosperity. But they take some women into the flying houses and bring them back pregnant. The men work in mines because the gods need a strange metal. There are 10 lashes for being late, so he hurries to the assembly point. The overlords are already waiting with their flying machines that look like huge birds to take the workers to the mines. Zuma is very afraid. The overlords are very strict, sometimes they whip someone for no reason. People who rebel or cannot work are sacrificed. They are taken to the highest point of the pyramid and beheaded in front of the entire population. Zuma climbs into the flying object and is transported with 100 others to a distant mine. The mine is located on a volcanic island. The mine shaft leads deep into it. It is very warm and the air smells of sulfur. Many are already sick from the bad air, and as soon as these people don't show up at the collection point, they will be sacrificed. People are exhausted and afraid, but there are some who are planning to resist. Zuma heard some whispers during transport. He heard words like weapons, rallying point, overwhelm. Zuma and the other people are driven out of the flying object with whips. Today the air is particularly bad and Zuma has problems breathing. The overlords clearly don't mind. On the contrary, they seem to feel visibly comfortable. Zuma is taken to the lowest point of the mine, where he is supposed to collect quarries and transport them up. He works very hard, it is unbearably hot and he can hardly breathe. Suddenly he collapses and loses consciousness. When Zuma comes to, he finds himself in a dungeon. He lies tied up on a lounger and the overlords stand around him. They have taken off their masks and Zuma sees what they look like for the first time. These have large oval dark eyes and their skulls are very elongated. A priest with a death mask paints his face. Zuma knows that he will be sacrificed to the gods. Zuma and 6 others who are to be sacrificed climb the pyramid stairs to the sacrificial altar. Zuma is last in line. The square is full of people, all residents of the city must take part in the ceremony. The human sacrifices serve as intimidation so that everyone becomes loyal to the overlords. The aliens accompany the victims at the side so that none of them escape. Once at the top, the first of the victims is placed on the sacrificial altar. The priest takes a sharp dagger and speaks loudly to the gods and cuts off the head of the chosen one. Blood sprays everywhere in a high arc. The priest takes the head and throws it down the steps of the pyramid. The head rolls down to the angry crowd. Suddenly someone in the crowd screams and the entire crowd runs towards the pyramid and begins to attack the overlords. They immediately shoot back with firearms. These are beam weapons and those that are hit disintegrate into dust. The shocked priest is overwhelmed by the chosen ones and killed with his own dagger. The aliens are so busy with the crowd that they don't notice anything. The prisoners and Zuma cut the bonds with the dagger and run down the pyramid. Once they reach the bottom, they run into the dense jungle and hide. Zuma and the other refugees watch the events from their safe hiding place in the jungle. They see that all the men in their city are being systematically killed by the aliens. All women and children are captured and taken to the spaceships. The space around the spaceships distorts and the flying objects disappear at the same moment. The overlords have disappeared along with the rest of Teotihuacan's population. Zuma and the others go back into the city to search for survivors. Everything is deserted, the entire city is deserted. Sad and afraid that the overlords can come back, Zuma and the last of his civilization leave the city and head for North America. End of the story.